The circle is filling. I hope that you're thirsty because it's time for a single malt scotch.
Oh, the Millionaire's Magician, Steve Cohen.
Yeah!
Now, why do they call you the Millionaire's Magician?
Well, I don't check people's bank balances at the door. But a lot of my audiences over the years have been wealthy New Yorkers, and it just kind of stuck. A media outlet called me that one time, and it just stuck.
By the way, if you go see Steve's performance, you are required to wear black tie. It is a formal event.
Oh.
Why do you find that's important for an evening of magic?
Okay, so it's not necessarily black tie. It's good that you put it that way. I dress in a black tie and tails, but it's really just like cocktail attire. We want people to have a very festive evening. When you think about the venue for the show, it's not like in the Holiday Inn, right? It's not in some sort of like a banquet room. It's in this really beautiful old Victorian style Gilded Age mansion. And so if you come there dressed up in flip-flops and shorts, you're going to really feel out of place. So what people like to do is they can make it a whole evening. You're in a Gilded Age mansion. People get dressed up. Women wear evening attire, gowns sometimes. I've had a Japanese woman came once in a full kimono. I've had military people come in their regal attire, their actual attire with all the military badges and whatnot. But, really, it's not, again, we're not going to turn people away if you're wearing just casual clothes, but you would feel uncomfortable.
So it sounds like it's a show and a show. And you're setting the pace for this magical evening. I'm assuming there's some candles involved. You've got this beautiful set. You're taking us to a different time.
Yeah, it really is a kind of a step back in time. Like I like to think of the show's at the Lotte New York Palace Hotel. So it's like I said, it's a Gilded Age mansion. It's the first Gilded Age mansion in New York City to have electric power. It was built in the 1890s, right? So you've got the wires were hand installed by Thomas Edison. Right, so this is the type of building that you're in. And if you ever walk past it, you might just not. Actually, the best way to put it is, if you ever saw the TV show, the Gossip Girl show, they filmed Gossip Girl in that hotel.
Oh, wow.
So if you guys watched, I never watched Gossip Girl, so I couldn't tell you, but you guys, I'm sure you've seen it. It's that beautiful hotel with a courtyard. In the Christmas time, they've got this unbelievable Christmas tree there that rivals the Christmas tree in Rockefeller Center. So like it's a special place to visit. And it's not just a magic show, which, of course, that's what I'm putting on, but it's the whole experience of walking into this step back in time.
Love that. I'm sure ghosts are involved in that dwelling.
Oh,
as well.
I even include one of the ghosts in my show.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you going to show us a trick with a ghost? Because this building doesn't have any ghosts.
I don't know. Magic is best performed after dark, in my opinion.
Okay.
So for me to try to call the ghosts at the 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning, that's a bit of a stretch.
So Steve Cohen, the Millionaire's Magician, is about to perform something for us, a very special something just for us. But, I mean, you've been a New Yorker for your entire life?
Yeah. So I grew up in Westchester. I went to school in Chappaqua. And actually, I've got a great story, which is about Z100.
Oh, where we are right now?
Yeah, we are right now.
The haunted radio station.
Maybe it's only haunted because you're here.
When they can me, my ghost will continue to come into a show.
So basically, like I said, I grew up in Westchester. When I was a kid, just going back over 40 years, I was driving to school one morning, and my brother and I used to listen to Z100 every morning.
Right.
And who was the host back then?
Scott Shannon.
Scott Shannon. It was Scott Shannon. I remember his name. And so he or one of the people in the crew that day had announced a contest. And the contest was, if we name your birthday and you're the first caller, then call us in and we'll give you $1,000 in cash. Mm-hmm. So my brother and I are driving along wondering, maybe they'll call our birthday. So Scott Shannon or whoever it was said, okay, if your birthday is February 1st, be the first caller and we'll give you $1,000. And my brother and I went, holy crap, that's my birthday. My birthday is February the 1st.
Right.
And so, again, this is 40 years ago. No one had cell phones, right? They hadn't been invented yet.
What did you do?
So I pulled over, screeched to a halt, ran up to someone's house, in Westchester. What? I ran through their yard, tripped on some gravel, and scraped up my elbow. I'm bleeding. I get to their front door, and I'm knocking furiously. Let me in. They're like, what do you need? And I'm like, can I use your phone? Who do you have to call? And they looked at my elbow. They thought I needed to call a hospital because I was bleeding. And they said, no. I said, no, I need to call Z100.
Wow.
Okay, and so the people let me in. I call up Z100.
They let you in.
They let me in.
Nowadays, they would not
I'm
let you in.
pretty,
Yeah.
kind of like calm looking person. Not gonna rob them or anything. So they let me in. I call Z100. And I was not the first caller. Okay, so I didn't end up with the money, but I did end up with a bloody elbow.
And so we owe you $1,000.
So that's the reason I'm here today is to collect.
But plus interest.
Plus interest, exactly.
And
So if you have any,
inflation, because he said 40 years ago. What would that be
There's
worth
a lot of
now?
interest.
Oh my God, you're
This-
going to put us out of business.
Yeah, exactly.
This
That's-
tin can isn't worth that much money.
that's like a library book that's been overdue for a really long time.
Yeah.
Well, look, I've been in many, an assistant in many magic shows, and I've had to hand over a $1 bill or $100. I've never had to hand over like $45,000.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
We'll have to get to that later.
No problem.
How did you
By the
start-
way, that's why I'm called the millionaire's magician.
Yeah, because-
I just cash in on all these
You
radio
shake
phone
down
calls.
the poor radio people.
Exactly.
How did you decide magic was your life? I'm assuming it started when you were a child.
Yes. So I started when I was 6. And did you ever try any magic tricks when you were?
I'm the worst.
Did you ever try when you were a little boy?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
the best then.
Okay, yeah. So I think that a lot of kids start off doing magic, at around age 6, 7, 8. When they get a magic kit or something that their parents say, hey, my kid would probably learn something fun. It stuck with me. My uncle was an amateur magician, and he was a really good one. He was very serious about it. So when I was a kid, I thought, okay, I'll just do what my uncle showed me. And the way he taught me was an interesting kind of progress. He said, if you learn this trick, then I'll teach you the next one. It wasn't like he gave me all the tricks at once and said, here's all the secrets. He said, if you're good at this one, then we'll teach you the next one. And I had to prove to him by performing it the next time we had a family gathering. So the way I like to think of it is kind of like a drug dealer. Like he was like stringing me along.
Right.
Like if you want to learn the next one, you have to be really good at the first one. So like I kept at it and I got pretty good. And certain people have certain aptitudes for things. Like like I have a good ear for languages. So I'm able to. I speak Japanese. I was able to.
Well, you just gloss past that.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I learned Japanese when I was 17 and became fluent and became a translator and interpreter for the government. So
Which government?
Japanese. I was doing
Wow.
Japanese patent translations.
In Japan?
Yeah, in Tokyo.
Whoa.
So you go to Tokyo, but at this time, I'm assuming you're an aspiring magician as well, or you were an officially.
I did both.
So you do interpretation during the day in Japan, and at night you do magic shows.
That's right. Mhm.
What a life!
Yep,
This is a movie script.
Yeah. So when I was in Tokyo, I was working at the Park Hyatt Tokyo.
Nice hotel.
Very nice hotel. At the time, it was the most luxurious hotel in Asia. And I did shows there for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. And it was my entree into Tokyo society to get a chance to do magic for high society there.
Wow.
This is crazy.
Truly. I have so many questions about magician stuff in
Go
general.
ahead. I'm
Let's go.
an open
Okay.
book.
Is there really a magician's guild?
I've never heard of that, but
Okay.
but there are magic organizations, and I wouldn't call them a guild. I think you're thinking of Job Bluth from Arrested Development,
That's exactly who I was thinking.
right? Yeah. So what I can tell you is real is there's the Magic Castle in Los Angeles, which I'm a member of. In
We
fact,
all want to go there.
well, you have to know a magician to get in, and now
We
you
know
know.
you.
Now you know me.
you.
You know
Okay, we
me.
know a magician.
And no, they gave me a special lifetime. It's called a performance fellowship, which is basically kind of like an Academy Award from the Magic Castle.
Wow.
It's a really high level thing, and they give it out to like very handful of people.
Aren't you in like the inner magic circle?
Yeah,
in
and so that's
London or
that's the other one I was going to tell you.
This
So-
is like devil worshiping
Yeah.
stuff to me.
there's no pentagrams involved.
I'm picturing people in robes with hoods.
It's not like that at all.
Okay.
It's all a bunch of like ordinary looking people who know some really cool tricks.
No Jeffrey Epstein
Amazing.
connection.
No, not at all. No,
Okay.
No eating babies?
And there's no.
Okay.
Don't get me started. So,
Okay. All right.
yeah.
Oh, get
so,
started.
Yeah. So in LA you've got the Magic Castle, which is a great magic private clubhouse. Which again, as I said, you need to know a member to get in, and if you need to get in, because I know you and you know me, you just tell me, and it'd be my pleasure to let you in.
Wow.
Send you an email. Now that doesn't go to all of your listeners because
No,
then I'm
no,
going to get inundated with requests. But
So far with Steve Cohen, the millionaire's magician, we have lost $43,000 in cash, and we can now go see a magic show.
Exactly,
Okay,
in
good.
LA.
This is great.
Okay, then in London, like you mentioned, there's this wonderful organization. It's called the Magic Circle. It's right near Euston Station in London, and that's one of the oldest magic societies in the world. Wow. And it's been running consecutively, I think, for like around 125 years or something like this, or 200 something. I forget exactly the number of years, but the point being, it has magicians who who meet in a private clubhouse and teach each other tricks to get better.
That's
Oh.
so.
Yeah.
Now, how do you get into like a club like that? Do you have to be invited?
You have to, for both of these clubs, the Magic Circle and the Magic Castle, you have to audition. You have to prove that you're not just a looky-loo, right? That you really care about the craft and you really want to actually get better and improve magic for everyone, and not just be like a secret stealer.
A grifter.
Yeah, because honestly, that's kind of what it is. Like, people may want to get into magic just that they learn the secrets and then blab it to their friends.
Yes.
Right.
So can you
you have to be a real. My feeling is that you're not able to keep a secret if you even tell it to one other person.
Oh.
So like a lot of my secrets that are in my show, because I do a show that's called Chamber Magic, and the secrets are not available publicly to anyone. I don't put them out there. No one knows these secrets.
Nor should you.
And exactly. And so you might think, okay, we can go on the internet and find any secret we want. But that's not true. Like, there are certainly secrets. You can go on YouTube and find tons of magic tutorials that'll teach you how to do some great card tricks and coin tricks and rubber band tricks and whatnot. But like the real secrets, I think that there are magicians such as myself who care about them so deeply that we just don't blab them to anyone.
Wow.
And it's just one person knows it. That person dies. The secrets are lost with
There's
them.
nothing that drives me more nuts, Steve, than someone who has to sit there and go crazy trying to figure out how it was done. You do a trick. I just wanted to live with it as, wow, that was great. I don't want to think about how you did it.
Thank you.
Or
Thank you. Do you
should
know?
we think about it?
Do you know the trick that I'm most known for?
No, I don't.
Okay, so I know that Skiri came to the show. Do you remember the trick?
Think a drink?
Yeah, think a drink. Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I tried to unpack that for 3 hours after the show.
Yep.
I guess it's natural to do that.
You and everybody else.
I'm that guy.
Yep. So basically, in the show, I've got this silver tea kettle. It's an old teapot, and I ask people around the room to name their favorite drinks. Mm-hmm. And so someone might call out that they want to have a ginger ale. So I pick up the tea kettle and pour them immediately from that spout a ginger ale, and they drink it, and it's real. And I say, okay, what does someone else want? Someone else says, oh, I want to have a gin and tonic. So I pick up the kettle and pour out a gin and tonic from the same
Shut
spout
up.
and give it to the second guy.
On ours, someone called out Macallan 18.
Okay.
And you literally pulled out Macallan 18, and then you let him try it. And he goes, "This is definitely Macallan 18."
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, and people ask for
It's not attached to anything?
No, I'm in the middle of a room. There's nothing attached. There's no spouts,
couldn't
no
tell you.
tubes.
No one says chocolate milk or something
Yeah,
stupid
people.
like that.
People have asked for chocolate milk. They've asked for yoo-hoo. There was
Like
a
a
guy.
mango lassi?
There was a guy who asked for. There was one guy who asked for a chocolate egg cream. Right, you know,
Yes,
old,
but
and we poured it with the You Bet chocolate syrup, which is the specific
No, but
brand.
I bet Gandhi can totally stump you.
I don't know. Could you do a mango lassi?
I've done mango lassi.
Stop.
I've done that. I've also done a
Get outta
faluda.
here.
You know
This
faluda?
is, yes, of course.
I poured a faluda.
This
And it's
is
all coming out of
wild.
the same
Yeah.
So doesn't it taste like if the last person had a yoo-hoo and
doesn't
then I
have-
want a margarita, isn't it going to taste
There's
bad?
nothing. No, there's no overlap.
But wait, Steve,
Yeah.
I want my deceased mother's breast milk. Go.
Yeah. People have asked for breast milk before,
Oh, God.
and someone even asked for Pepto-Bismol.
Did it work?
And I was
Did
like,
you
I can't pour medication. No medication.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
can I have some scissor?
Yeah, would
So
you like to?
you're
Would you like to?
basically
Would you
a
like to see
wizard.
it? Would you like to see a magic trick? Could I
Yes.
see one?
Yeah.
Okay, I think you might
Okay,
like
but
this.
so you're using your hands for a magic trick. Before you do this, are your hands insured?
They are not insured. Yeah, and I have friends who are musicians who play the violin who have every finger is insured individually.
Right.
But I've never gone that route.
May I move your bottle? Because
Sure,
we're gonna.
sure.
Is it
Of
okay?
course.
Are we catching this on camera?
Sure, you can do whatever you like. Sure,
Okay.
sure thing.
Okay. You approve the angle?
Yeah. It doesn't
I will
matter.
give
Does
you
not
water
matter to
back.
me at all.
If
Okay,
you
so,
amaze
by the
us,
way,
you'll
is
get
it
your
anybody's
water back.
birthday by any chance? Anyone have a birthday coming up?
I do this month.
Oh,
Yes.
wonderful. Okay, so here we go. So this is the trick for you then. Okay, and I've got a black hanky. And can you rub my hand just to make sure that it's empty?
It's empty.
Now it's my birthday.
Hey.
That's a nice massage. I probably should have covered it first. That would have been a lot more polite. Now, since you're right here, with your left fingers this time, I want you to touch the base of my palm, and I want you to rub slowly towards my fingertips, all the way down, and press my hand as you go. You can keep going all the way down to the very end. So you felt all the way across my whole hand?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so for those of you that didn't feel what she was feeling this, my empty hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now watch this. This is where the magic begins, right there in that very center spot. Can you see?
Yes.
Make a circle right there. Good. Look, it's forming. It's rising. The circle is filling. I hope that you're thirsty because it's time for a single malt scotch.
Oh.
And it's got liquid in it.
Happy birthday.
This is crazy.
Out from under the handkerchief. The black handkerchief on his hand. He's out of nowhere. This malt scotch in a shot glass comes out.
Shut up. Come on.
That is awesome.
Dude, that tastes good, too.
Yeah, I hope you like
And
it.
if you're
At
drunk
McAllen
like me,
18.
this is the show you got to go see.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
thank you. Yeah, so
It's
this
all
is the
about
kind of thing. I do.
cocktails with this guy.
Well, yeah, it's elegant.
What's up, Nate?
You are the most fascinating. I love you. I'm sorry. We got to have you back on, next week. Where do you get some of the ideas for these, I don't want to say tricks, like these illusions? Like, where
Where do they come from?
Right. So almost everything I do is it's dated back to hundreds of years ago. And there's a library, there's actually a wonderful library called the Conjuring Arts Research Center, which sounds like something you'd find in Hogwarts, right? It sounds like,
Yes.
it can't even be real. But it's a library for magicians. And I wouldn't say you need to know a secret handshake to get in, but they won't let the ordinary, public just walk in. You have to either know the librarians, you have to know the organization to have access. And in that library, they have books that date back to the 1500s, the 1400s, secrets that have been preserved for centuries.
It's like old 1,000-year-old recipes.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's like that. And the point being that these books have to be preserved in climate-controlled vaults because otherwise the pages will crumble and the secrets would disappear. So
Oh my God, this is like Hogwarts.
it kind of is, right?
Yeah.
And so I research a lot of my magic tricks based on these old secrets and try to make them feel fresh for a modern audience.
Wow.
Fascinating.
fascinating
It's
stuff.
So amazing.
magic is just teeming in the richness of the history. I mean, it does take you back. It takes you back to. Give me an example of a series on Netflix. I mean, I think of
Well, the Gilded Age. I mean, like if you watch the Gilded Age, that's like exactly what I'm getting at as far as the ambiance of the show. When people come, it's like a festive event. But when you get there, you're like already in an altered state of mind because you're thinking, why did I have to get dressed up to see a magic show? Right? Is this not a dinner? A state dinner? Like, why do I have to get dressed up for? But by putting yourself into that mindset, you're actually making yourself invest. You're invested in the experience.
we had incredible chef Mario Carbone on the other day. And when you go to one of his Carbone restaurants, it's not just going into this Italian restaurant and eating. It's a show. And we're talking about his restaurants. Gandhi goes to the one in Miami. We go to the ones here in New York. It's a show. I mean, they take you to a different place with the decoration of the room and the way you communicate with your server and the captain. It's not just an eating experience. It is a show.
Sure.
So you're like I said before, yours is a show in the show.
It is. I mean, the way I like to think of it is that you're going through many frames, like picture frames. And frame number one is at your own home when you're picking out what am I going to wear to go to this magic show, right? And you're thinking about it for like a couple of weeks or days before you even leave your house. And then the next frame is walking into this beautiful hotel that, I mean, I don't know if you've been to the Lotte New York Palace, but it's stunning. I used to do this show at the Waldorf Astoria. I was at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel for 17 years before they closed for renovations. But like both of those places, like walking in is the first big frame, and you realize you're kind of walking into a movie set.
You are.
And then you walk down this gilded hallway, and then there's like chandeliers and gold ceilings, and you're like, it really doesn't feel like you're in modern New York anymore.
So it's not street magic. It is opulent.
It's
Gilded
really,
Age
it's exactly. That's a good way to put it.
Okay. So, of course, you were saying that to get into some of these organizations, they really test you and they make sure that you're not a grifter or somebody who's just trying to steal from people.
Right.
How many magicians actually fall into that category versus what you're doing? And can you get kicked out of these organizations once you're in?
Oh, the good question. So I'll answer the last question. So magicians have gotten kicked out of organizations like the Society of American Magicians, International Brotherhood of Magicians, the Magic Circle, for exposing secrets to the public.
Like the Master Magician when
Yeah.
he had that show.
Yeah,
remember?
exactly.
You know who that was?
We do. Everyone knows who it was. Yeah.
Is he still alive?
He is still alive.
He's a
but
wanted man.
he
A
moved-
wanted
his
man.
fingers?
No. He moved. Actually, his name was Valentino. Val Valentino. He actually moved to South America. There was a big article about him, I think, in Bloomberg or in the Wall Street Journal or something recently, and he's actually flourishing in South America with a whole career there.
Wow.
But he did get blackballed, and blacklisted by magicians everywhere else
Okay.
because he's exposing secrets, and so that's the one anathema. You cannot expose secrets. That's like the basic level.
How could you live with yourself knowing that
Right.
you're
But
blowing
here's
that up?
an interesting story that the Magic Circle in London, the very first president was a guy named David Devant. Okay, he was one of the founders of the organization. He exposed some secrets. They kicked him out of his own organization.
Oh,
Whoa.
That would be insulting.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Yes.
About to happen to me here, probably.
Please. So how many of the other magicians that we see are actually just kind of swindlers and not necessarily actual magicians?
I don't know. I mean, I don't interact with people like that very much. I kind of stay away from many magicians. I get involved in things that are like kind of on a bigger scale. So, for instance, there's a big exhibition going on at the New York Public Library this month, and actually running through the middle of I think June or July, and it's in league with the 100th anniversary of Harry Houdini's death.
Wow.
So Houdini died in 1926, and this year is 2026. So in league with that, there's a big magic exhibition that's being held right now at the New York Public Library for the Performing Arts, right behind Lincoln Center. And so I align myself with organizations like that. Like I'm working with like bigger level. I'm not trying to, win money off of people on the streets, or like I like doing 3-card Monty and like the put your finger in the chain, like that sort of thing. I'm not doing the endless eternal chain. So so this stuff I'm doing is like at a higher level. So I don't really know much about what those guys are doing.
Okay.
To be honest.
So you've never used it for bad? You've never used your power for bad? Ever?
The only time I ever used
Impressive.
magic, I'll tell you, the only time I've ever used magic to my advantage outside of a show was I was on jury duty. Okay, I was called for jury duty, and it was a point blank gunshot case. In the Lower East Side, and during the jury selection, they asked, "Do you have any experience with handguns?" Now, I've actually on my show, I've done the bullet catch where I caught a bullet in my mouth.
My God.
From a Glock 19. So this is like a real trick. I had a bullet which is shot at my face. I catch the bullet in my teeth. Okay, and
Not impressed, Steve.
Yeah. And I did it for the History
Ventura.
Channel. You can watch it on my website. You can watch it online. So, anyways, I did the bullet catch, and it traumatized me. I ended up with a blood blister, like a hematoma from shattered glass, and I ended up with a blood blister on my chest that kept on growing, and nerve damage. Anyhow, so when they were doing the jury selection, the judge said, "Okay, have you ever had any experience with handguns?" I said, "Yes." I had a gun pointed at my face and fired, and I caught the bullet in my mouth. And the judge says, "Get out of my courtroom."
No one believes this.
No follow-up needed.
No questions asked after that.
By the way, this turning is on Steve Cohen, of course, the Millionaire's Magician, performing here in New York City. You've heard how beautiful the evening should be for you and will be. Make sure, if you can, get some tickets. I've heard it's very difficult to get tickets to your show.
Yeah, so the show's been running for 25, going on 26 years now.
Whoa.
I've done nearly 7,000 performances. So that's a lot of momentum, right, of people over the years. Over 500,000 people have come to see the show. And the way I like to think of it is kind of like edging up on Phantom of the Opera, Les Miserables territory with the number of performances. But with those shows, they've got a rotating cast, of like different actors and singers and dancers and whatnot. I'm a solo act. So I've done myself public shows in New York City for, going on 7,000 shows now.
Wow.
Yeah. So people can buy tickets, but depending on the time of the year, it gets sold out for
I'm
sure.
picturing in my head what I'm going to wear when I go.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Oh, people get all dolled up. It's
Yeah.
great. No, I love it.
You
I
know,
love
Steve,
it.
I'm
Yeah.
getting dolled up just for you, baby.
Wait, Steve, do you know exactly how many tricks you can perform? Like, do you know exactly how many you know?
I do 12 tricks.
12 tricks.
Okay.
But over all the years, you've known more than 12 tricks.
Oh, no, I mean, this is my livelihood. So yeah, I mean, it's like if you asked a guitarist, to play, they know thousands of songs, right? I know thousands of magic tricks, but I perform 12 of them.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, last question. Well, I don't know if it's the last question, but I have one more question. Another question. What has doing this, for as long as you've been doing it, taught you about people?
So that's a really good question. I like to think of people often mention that there's misdirection, right? That you make someone look over here when they should be looking over there, and trying to. I don't like to think of it as misdirection. I like to think of it as direction. That in order to make a successful magic trick, and also any sort of an interview or any sort of work that you're doing, you have to direct people's attention so that you always have control over where their attention is at in each moment. So rather than saying, here's a good example. If you have a piece of wood, right, a piece of paneling, let's say, and there's a knot in the middle of the wood, your eye is drawn to that spot, right? And there's all the lines around that wood that kind of draw your attention there. That's what a magician's doing, is we're drawing your attention to one point. And so, I mean, I don't know if this is answering your question. It's kind of an esoteric way of answering it, but rather than trying to lead people away from what they should be looking at, I'm always trying to lead people toward what they should be looking at. And that's the job of a director. So I'm directing people's attention as opposed to misdirecting them.
I'm assuming being a student of magic as you are, I'm sure you could see a magician, illusionist, whatever, doing a trick and figuring it out if you just think it through, or figuring out maybe 3 different ways they could do it.
Sure.
Have you, Steve, ever seen someone perform and you are so baffled you almost get a tear in your eye and you're like, that was
For sure.
beautiful?
For sure.
Can you recall one of those
For sure,
us?
100%. So the problem with being a magician is that you have the curse of knowledge, right? You know too much, and then therefore you become dead into it all. But every once in a while, I'll meet someone who's considered what's known as a magician's magician. Now, you've heard of comedian, right? Like someone who makes comedians laugh. Like, someone who, like the average public would listen to that comedian and go, that's not that funny. But other comedians go, this guy is a genius, right? So there's people like that in magic, where they don't really perform for the public, but they baffle other magicians. They'll work at a convention just for the trade and make people tear their hair out. It's hilarious. So there was an act I flew across the country to see in Los Angeles. It was a recreation of what's known as the Hooker Rising cards. Now, it has nothing to do with a hooker. Okay?
Damn.
It's the name. The name of the magician who came up with is named Dr. Samuel Hooker. Worst name ever. But he came up with a magic trick, which is a card deck where you name any card and that card floats out of the deck into the air, and he plucks it out of the air. And it's miraculous. And magicians throughout this, like the past 150 years, have not known how this trick is done. So when this one magician named John Gone found the original props from the family, he had no idea how they were put together. He had to reverse engineer the whole trick. And after several years of figuring it out, put on a show doing that trick, the Hooker Rising cards. And it's basically 20 minutes of the same trick over and over again. You name a card, it floats up. You name a card, it floats up. And different different iterations of it. I don't want to go into it. But anyway, even as magicians, we're all watching this going, and by the way, the audience is full of magicians. There's not a single lay person there. None of us know how it's done. Wow. None of us.
So when
And
he
that's-
dies, it dies with him?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it all, isn't it? It's very ephemeral. It's like why do we need to all have access to it? I think it's better when we don't, and we need to have that mystery and the real secrets that are left in the world for us to have for the next generation.
When you're not in your tux and your tails and your hat and doing your show, you just walk through, let's say, Central Park, New York City, which you've done hundreds of times probably in your life, maybe more. What do you see in real life that to you is magic?
Well, I'm a runner, so I run marathons. So I'm in Central Park much more than most. I run about 40, sometimes up to 50 miles a week, and I like watching children laugh. Like that's very magical to me. Is seeing a little kid. And I like to make little kids laugh, and sometimes I'll just do something silly and make them smile, or I'll do something magical like make a coin come out behind their ear. As old and hoary as that sounds, it still makes little children happy, and then you see them afterwards reaching for their own ear. I think that's adorable, right? Like making a coin appear from their ear, and then walking away and looking back over my shoulder and seeing them reach up there to see if they could find more. Well, that for me is always, I just love that.
I love hearing that because
So
you know what?
cool.
If we stop down and just look around us, we see magic every day. But Steve Cohen, to see you do this show would be just an honor. And so I'm going to pay full retail and show up as a surprise one night. And it's going to be just an amazing night. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, of course.
Standing ovation.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Are you standing, Gandhi? I can't tell.
I am.
Okay.
I'm up.
Thank you, everybody.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
That was great.